Hey guys, and welcome to No Recipe Required. I'm Dave, and tonight we're going to do a Halloween themed recipe for you. A black bean soup. You know, black Halloween, it all works together. The soup is actually magnificent on its own. Really simple to make, only takes about half an hour. But to make it extra spooky, I'm going to show you how to do the very cool design on the top of it once we get the soup done in the shape of a spider web. Very simple to do. You just need a little bit of sour cream, toothpick, and a Ziploc bag. That's it. It's going to be very cool. Your kids, your friends, everybody's going to love it. Fits in with the holidays absolutely perfectly. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, let's go ahead and get started on our black bean soup. We got a nice pot. That's a very nice pot, isn't it? A little bit of olive oil on the bottom. I've got it heated up kind of over medium-high heat. We're going to add our veggies to saute these down. This is the way I start a ton of soups. I've got the mirepoix, carrot, onion, celery in there. For this soup, I also like a little bit of red pepper, red bell pepper, and 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. The amount of ingredients don't really matter a whole lot. I go about equal parts on the carrot, onion, celery, a little bit less on the bell pepper. Add a little bit of salt in there. Will help break those veggies down. We're just going to cook everything until it's all wilted down, sweated, kind of soft. You're not looking to really caramelize or brown anything at all. So just keep it over medium heat and stir it every 5 minutes. You'll be fine. So once the onions are translucent, I'm just going to add about a tablespoon or so of tomato paste in there and let that cook off. And then I've got a good solid pinch, call it 2 pinches of oregano that we add in there as well. And after I just let those ingredients cook together for a few minutes, we'll come back, add our black beans. So after a few more minutes, just let that tomato kind of toast in there. Everything is nice and wilted down. I'm going to take my can of black beans and add the entire thing in there. And actually, this is kind of a 2 can, at least I use 2 cans of black beans. But the second one, I'm actually going to hold back most of the beans and add them at the very end because we're going to puree this soup down. So that's why I also don't really bother cutting up those carrots or celery or all that super finely, because this is all going to get blended together. We're going to add enough chicken stock to cover it all pretty nicely. We're just going to let these simmer for probably 20 minutes to make sure everything gets nice and cooked through. And then we'll come back. Actually, we're going to season it with a little bit more salt and a little bit of fresh ground black pepper. And then just cover it, let it simmer, and then we're going to come back and blend it all together. Okay, so after about 20 minutes or so, you can just kill the heat or turn it down super low and just blend it up. If you want to use a regular blender, fine. Stick blender works perfectly. Alright, so once your soup is blended up, if it foams up at all, mine did, and sometimes, almost any time I make a vegetable soup or something like that, I get a little bit of that foam on top. Not a big deal. Just scrape it off. And then I got my trusty tasting spoon here. You want to, I like to get it here very smooth and creamy. You want to give it a taste, and this one could use a touch more salt and pepper. And then the other thing we're going to add back is our final can of beans, or final beans, because I still like to have some whole beans in there. You don't need to by any means. You just leave it as is. I'm just going to cook it another 5 to 10 minutes or so with those other beans in there. They're obviously already cooked. I just want them a little bit tender. And if it's too thick, you can always add a little more chicken stock or even water. Once this finishes up, we'll come back and plate it up. Alright, so our black bean soup is all cooked off. We're going to ladle it out. If you ever want a soup like this thinner, you can go ahead and just add a little bit more chicken stock. Thicker, let it cook and reduce for a little bit longer. And now we're going to do our spider web design. What I've got here is just a Ziploc bag that I filled with sour cream that I diluted just a little bit. And I'm going to use that to draw circles around my soup. And frankly, if you can do circles better than I am, your spider web is going to come out even better. And once you get that done, we're going to take a little toothpick and just go from the center, draw it out at, kind of every 2 hours, if you imagine a clock face. We go out, and then you've got your spider web design. Very spooky for Halloween. Our black bean soup with a spider web top. I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required. Alright, so I love making this Halloween-inspired spider web soup with our great design on the top. It was a blast. It tasted awesome, visually stunning. Your kids, your family, they're going to love it. And you know what? This technique of topping the soups can be done with all kinds of things. Check out my other link to my jack-o'-lantern soup, which I did with pumpkin soup. You can easily do it with butternut squash, kind of anything you want. It's absolutely perfect. And I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required.